Today on How It's Made. Instant coffee, peanut butter and jelly, and butter bread. When making instant coffee, it's very important that the worker wears gloves, as if the water gets on you, it can be very dangerous. The worker starts by filling up the coffee cup about that full. The worker then places the coffee into the microwave, still wearing gloves, as if the microwave's ultraviolet rays get on you, they can damage your skin. The worker then sets the timer for about 1 minute. This gets the coffee nice and warm. The coffee must spin, as this makes the water so that its particles can move around more easily and make the water warm. Once it's done, the worker carefully removes the cup from the microwave, still wearing gloves as the water is very warm. The worker now unscrews the lid of the instant coffee and takes a rounded teaspoon, about that much, and places it in the boiling water. He now takes that same spoon and begins to stir the hot liquid. You get something that looks like this. He then takes a quick taste just to be sure that it's just right. He now adds the desired amount of creamer. Gives it another quick stir. And bam, you have a nice, warm cup of coffee. Butter bread, you need a plate, of course. Notice the worker's wearing gloves, as the sharp edges on a plate can easily cut your skin. And you also need, the worker also needs a knife. And, of course, the worker will need butter. The worker now carefully removes 2 pieces of bread. Or however many pieces of bread you would like. Lays them out on the plate. The worker now carefully opens up the butter. Takes out a small amount or a big amount, depending on what the desired amount is, and carefully spreads it on the bread. He does the same thing with the other piece. Then, to make sure that each piece has... The worker now carefully tests the bread to make sure that it fits every person's need. So the only way to do this is to take a bite. It's good. The worker now takes a bag, opens it up, which isn't always the easiest task wearing gloves, but it's always the safest way to go. Opens it up and places both pieces of butter bread into the bag. Closes up the bag, and they are now ready to be shipped to local markets. An American favorite from the beginning of time. To make a peanut butter and jelly, the worker first starts by taking out a plate and getting the basic components of a peanut butter and jelly. Jelly, peanut butter, and 2 slices of bread. The worker will also need 2 things: a knife, and a spoon. The spoon is used for shoveling the jelly out of the jelly jar and onto the sandwich. The knife is used for spreading the jelly and also getting the peanut butter out of the container. To begin, the worker lays out 2 pieces of wheat or white bread. He or she then opens up the peanut butter jar and takes out about a teaspoon worth. About that much. That might be more than a teaspoon. And then carefully spreads it on the bread. Once that is completed, the worker then opens up the jelly jar, takes his or her spoon, places it in the jelly, and pulls out about that much. This must be very precise, as if it is not, the person receiving this peanut butter and jelly may not be satisfied. The worker then takes the jelly and puts it on the bread. He or she then takes the knife and spreads out the jelly, being sure to get all sides of the bread, as results would be best if this is how the sandwich is prepared. The worker carefully grabs the piece of bread, inspects it to make sure there is no mold or any other kinds of bacteria on the bread. He does the same to the other one. Once they are approved, he flips the piece of bread onto the other, pushes it together, and you now have a perfect peanut butter and jelly. They have a professional for this job. This guy is so good he doesn't even need to wear gloves when handling a knife. And the final, and I mean the final step in this, is carefully cutting the sandwich in half. And now you have a perfect peanut butter and jelly sandwich.